Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, Coins Liberty. Today we're diving deep into the history, value, and big worth of the 1-cent coin, and trust me, its story is more fascinating than you might think. From its origins all the way to its role in today's economy, we'll cover it all. So grab your coins and let's get started. Let's rewind the clock all the way back to the early days of the United States, way back in 1793. That's when the US Mint first issued the 1-cent coin, and believe it or not, it wasn't even made of copper at first. Instead, it was struck from a mixture of copper, tin, and zinc, and it was known as the chain cent. This initial design was quickly replaced by the wreath cent in 1794, which had a more refined look. Why the change? Well, the chain cent didn't exactly inspire confidence. The design was a bit messy, with links of chains surrounding the word liberty, which many felt lacked the elegant, proud image that a coin should represent. The wreath cent, however, featured a much cleaner design with a wreath of laurel and oak leaves, symbolizing victory and strength. Fast forward to 1856, and we see the introduction of the famous Indian head cent, designed by James B. Longacre. This is one of the most iconic designs in American coinage, featuring a Native American woman wearing a headdress. But while this design had a very distinctive look, it wasn't without controversy. Many people felt the image didn't reflect the true spirit of Native American culture, and it was eventually replaced by the Lincoln cent in 1909. Now, the Lincoln cent is a design that you're probably more familiar with. It was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It featured a portrait of the 16th President of the United States, which is still in use on the front of the coin today. The reverse side originally depicted 2 stalks of wheat, and this design would become a staple for the 1-cent coin for over 50 years. Over time, the design of the 1-cent coin has continued to evolve. In 1959, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint replaced the wheat stalks with a depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, which remained until 2009. And that's when we saw something truly remarkable: the introduction of a series of 4 different reverse designs in honor of the 200th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. These 4 reverse designs featured important moments from Lincoln's life, such as his log cabin, his role in the Civil War, and his leadership during the Emancipation Proclamation. Each of these designs was unique, adding a rich layer of history to what had previously been a simple coin. And in 2010, we saw the final shift in the design, with the introduction of the shield cent. The design features a shield, symbolizing Lincoln's role in preserving the Union, and it also represents the strength of the country. Okay, let's talk about something a little more relevant today. What's the actual value of the 1-cent coin? I mean, we all know it's worth 1 cent, right? But in terms of buying power, how much is that really worth in today's economy? When the 1-cent coin was first issued in 1793, it had a lot more purchasing power. Back then, 1 cent could buy you a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, or even a good amount of other goods. But thanks to inflation, the value of a cent has drastically decreased over time. So, how much is it worth today? Not a whole lot. 1 cent is worth, well, 1 cent. However, it's still in circulation today, and it serves an important function in our economy by helping to make up the difference in transactions and prices. But the question remains, should we continue to mint the 1-cent coin? Well, let's take a closer look at its cost to produce. Believe it or not, it costs more to produce a 1-cent coin than it's actually worth. In fact, in recent years, the cost of making a penny has skyrocketed. In 2023, it was reported that it costs about 2.1 cents to produce a single 1-cent coin. So, for every penny the US Mint makes, taxpayers lose money. That's not exactly a good deal, right? So why do we still produce them? Well, it's largely due to tradition and public resistance to eliminating the penny. Despite the fact that many people don't use pennies in their daily lives, the penny has become a symbol of American culture and history. And that's something that's not easily discarded. Now, let's talk about the big worth in circulation. You might not realize it, but there are actually billions of pennies in circulation today. According to the US Mint, there are more than 150 billion 1-cent coins in circulation as of 2025. That's a whole lot of pennies. If you were to stack them all up, they would reach all the way to the moon. Seriously, we're talking over 200,000 miles high. Even though they don't carry much purchasing power individually, all those pennies together add up to a substantial amount of money. So, while it might seem like a nuisance to deal with these tiny coins, they still hold a significant place in our economy. And remember, if you happen to find a rare or unusual penny, like an era coin or a highly sought-after one, its value could be worth far more than just a cent. So what does the future hold for the 1-cent coin? Will it continue to circulate for years to come, or will it eventually be phased out? There's been a lot of debate about this, and some countries, like Canada, have already eliminated their 1-cent coins. But here in the US, we haven't made that leap yet. The penny may not have much buying power anymore, but it's certainly not lacking in historical value. Whether or not the US Mint continues to produce them in the future, one thing's for sure, the 1-cent coin will always have a place in American history and in our pocketbooks. Sure! Below is an extended script for a YouTube video about the 1-cent coin, covering its history, value, and big worth in circulation, with a focus on storytelling and a mix of engaging facts. Feel free to adjust the pacing or tone based on your channel's style. Let's travel back in time, way back to 1793. The United States was barely 2 decades old, and the US Mint had just been established. It was in this year that the very first 1-cent coin was minted, and it wasn't even made of copper like most people think. Instead, it was a combination of copper, tin, and zinc, and it was called the chain cent. Why chain cent, you ask? Well, the reverse side of the coin featured a chain linking together the words United States of America. While the chain was meant to symbolize the unity of the states, the design was soon considered awkward and cluttered. So, in 1794, the coin was redesigned, and the wreath cent was born. This new design was much more refined, featuring a wreath of laurel and oak leaves around the word liberty. The wreath symbolized victory and strength, and for many collectors, this coin marked the start of something special in U.S. numismatic history. Despite its popularity, there were some who felt that this design didn't quite reflect the full reality of Native American culture, and it would be replaced in 1909 by the most recognizable 1-cent design of them all, the Lincoln cent. Lincoln's face on the front of the coin was a tribute to the 16th president, who was seen as a symbol of unity and equality, especially in the wake of the Civil War. And this design? It's still used to this day. The reverse side originally featured 2 stalks of wheat, which remained until 1959, when it was replaced with a depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute to the legacy of President Lincoln. But wait, there's more. In 2009, to mark the 200th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, the U.S. Mint introduced 4 new reverse designs, each one showcasing a significant moment from Lincoln's life. These included an image of Lincoln's log cabin, his role in the Civil War, and his signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. So, what exactly is the 1-cent coin worth today? On the surface, the answer seems simple: 1 cent, right? But here's where it gets interesting. In terms of actual purchasing power, 1 cent doesn't go very far in today's world. In 1793, when the 1-cent coin was first minted, it could actually buy quite a bit, like a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, or even some fresh fruit. But today, thanks to inflation, that same 1 cent won't even get you a piece of gum or a single penny candy. The value of the cent has drastically shrunk over the past 200 years. Here's a fun fact. Did you know it costs more to make a 1-cent coin than it's actually worth? In 2023, the US Mint reported that it costs about 2.1 cents to produce just one penny. So, for every penny minted, the government is losing money. Sounds a bit ridiculous, right? This cost doesn't just come from the materials, copper, zinc, and other metals. The minting process itself is also quite expensive. Now, here's where it gets really mind-blowing. Did you know there are more than 150 billion 1-cent coins currently in circulation in the US? That's right, 150 billion. If you were to stack all those pennies, it would reach the moon. Seriously, we're talking about a stack that would stretch over 200,000 miles into space. Can you imagine if all of those pennies just appeared in one giant pile in your backyard? You'd have a very shiny, very heavy backyard for sure. But despite their individual low value, the sheer number of pennies means they add up. When you think about it, all those pennies collectively represent a staggering amount of money. In fact, there are so many pennies floating around that they are often seen as small change, yet they actually make up a large portion of currency in circulation. So, here's the big question: should we keep the penny, or is it time to say goodbye? Other countries, like Canada, have already eliminated their 1-cent coins, and there's been ongoing debate here in the US about whether we should follow suit. Supporters of the penny argue that it has historical value, and that it still serves a role in rounding out prices. But on the flip side, critics say it's a waste of resources and that eliminating it could save taxpayers millions of dollars each year in production costs. So, what does the future hold for the penny? Will we keep minting it, or will it be phased out entirely? While it's hard to predict, one thing's for sure: the penny has had a major impact on the history of US currency, and even if it disappears one day, it'll never truly be forgotten. And who knows, perhaps one day, rare pennies or era coins could become the next big thing for collectors. If you have a few lying around, it might be worth taking a closer look. Well, there you have it, everything you ever wanted to know about the 1-cent coin. From its origins to its current place in our wallets, this little coin has a history packed with significance. But what do you think? Should we keep the penny, or is it time for a change? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into US coinage, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.